We all experience stress, anxiety, worry, fear, and doubt. And all of these negative emotions can not only affect the mind and our mental well-being, but they can also make us feel physical pain or tenseness. When we practice yin yoga, we are able to address both problems at once. By holding in a deep stretch for longer than we usually do, we have the time to breathe into that stiffness, and often the emotions that may have caused it in the first place will arise, and we are able to acknowledge them and release them. This is what I would like to encourage you to do during this practice. Embrace the discomfort and breathe into it, allowing yourself to feel and just be present, exhaling all that no longer serves you. So breathe, enjoy the sunset, and let it all go. We're going to begin an easy pose, hands resting over the heart, returning to the intention of letting go of what no longer serves you. For the next 30 minutes, let's focus on releasing tension and the negativity that so easily invades us. You are in control of what you hold on to. This is your opportunity to let go of anything that is holding you back. Now that we have set our intention, let's practice our 3-part breath by placing one hand over the belly and one over the heart. Let's breathe deeply into the belly only and then exhale. And again, a couple more times, breathing just into the belly. Next, let's add to the belly, breathing into the rib cage and exhaling out of the rib cage and then the belly. Breathing this way a few times and not yet breathing fully into the chest. Now let's breathe into the belly, the rib cage, and then the chest. And exhale, chest, rib cage, and belly. Take 3 deep breaths in this way. Return to your normal breath, hands come to the knees, and let's recenter. And moving into child's pose now, let's take a deep breath and exhale, stretching the hands to the right side of the mat and then to the left, breathing into the side body. And back to center, lifting up to tabletop. Let's do a cat-cow here. Arching the spine, looking up, and rounding, looking between your knees. Continuing to breathe and connect. And sitting back to the heels before we move into our half hero pose. So let's come to the front of the mat, extend the left leg, keeping the right knee bent back. The foot is near your right glute, and you can release onto your elbows or all the way onto your back. And I would encourage you to only do this if you don't have any pain in your right knee. If this is too much for you, just come onto your belly and pull the right heel to the right glute. And let's lift up onto the elbows first. Swing the leg forward and switching sides. Left knee bent, right leg extended out, and coming down to wherever you feel comfortable. Again, maybe just coming onto your belly and bringing the left heel to the left glute. And breathe. Let's lift up, swing the left leg together, maybe give the legs a shake, and bring the right knee into the chest, finding Marichasana C. We're reaching behind the back with the left hand and reaching around the right knee with the right arm. In Marichasana C, your nose is coming toward your knee. I also like to look back to get a bit more of a twist. But just do what feels right for you in this pose. And let's release the arms up to the sky, extend the right leg, and bringing the left knee into the chest, finding Marichasana C on the left side. And you may just want to have the left knee into the chest and reaching forward with the hands toward the top of the mat. Make this pose serve you in this moment. And let's release the legs together, reaching up to the sky and folding forward, finding Pashimotasana. We're folding from the hips, not the lower back, breathing in and breathing out. Releasing any type of negativity or tension that may arise. Maybe on your inhale, lift up slightly, and on your exhale, release a bit further. Use this opportunity to connect with your body, to connect with your mind, to ask yourself, is there anything that I can let go of? If you feel any tension anywhere in your body, breathe into it, sending oxygen, sending love, sending positivity into that part of your body that needs it. And let's lift up to the sky. Maybe shake the legs out a little bit. And bringing the left foot into the right thigh. Folding forward again into our nose to knee pose. And just try to relax in these stretches. If you would like a pillow or a bolster between your leg and your chest, that's perfectly fine. Do what you can to make this pose as relaxing as possible while challenging your flexibility. And let's lift up. Place the hands behind the back. Point the toes and lift, pushing into the ground with the heels, lifting the hips toward the sky, looking back behind you or looking up to the sky, whatever feels right. And looking forward, lowering the hips down to the mat. And let's bring the right foot to the left thigh, folding forward over that left leg. Again, releasing anything that no longer serves you. Any tension, any negativity, anything holding you back. And let's lift up. Place the hands behind the back, lifting once again into our reverse plank. Pushing into the mat with the feet, lifting the hips up to the sky. Keep breathing here. And release down to the mat. Let's pivot open to our revolved head to knee. So the left foot is into the right thigh once again, but we're opening up the hips a bit and leaning over to the right leg. Breathe into that left side body. It's getting a wonderful stretch right now. Try to keep your shoulders square, opening up that left shoulder, not allowing it to collapse forward. Breathe in and out. And let's lift up. Extend the legs together and lifting back into our reverse plank. Feeling the engagement in the backs of the legs and the hamstrings, in the glutes, and releasing down. And let's find our revolved head to knee pose on the left leg now. Left leg is extended out straight, the right leg is bent, right foot to the left thigh. Opening up the right shoulder now, allowing it to roll back, reaching up and over, breathing into the right side body, breathing into any tension, into any stiffness or soreness. And let's release up, legs together, and back to reverse plank. Holding here and breathing, we're strengthening and lengthening our hamstrings. And let's bring the hips forward a bit. I'm just going to switch around. Let's come to the mat, bringing the back to the mat, right knee to the chest, and making a few circles here. Just circling the hip, getting some motion. And let's grab the right big toe with your peace fingers and trying to bring your right knee toward your armpit. That's the direction we want to go, just opening up that hip. Breathing here. Breathe into that hip. Breathing into any emotions that may arise. If you'd like to, you can extend the right leg or just stay here. You can keep holding on to the toes or grab the outside of the foot. And bring the knee back into the chest, extend the leg out, and switching legs, bring the left knee into the chest, making a few circles with the hips, getting some motion into that hip, and bring the left knee toward the left armpit, grabbing onto the toes or the outside of the foot. The right leg is extended straight out. Or if you'd like to, if it feels better for you today, you can bend the right knee and place the foot on the mat. Just do whatever feels best for you. By keeping the right leg extended, we're also getting a stretch in the right psoas. And again, if you'd like to extend that left leg, you can, or just keep the knee bent. This is your practice, this is your time. Do what feels right for you. And let's release the knee back to the chest. Extend the leg out, reaching to opposite sides of the mat with the feet and the hands. Make yourself as long as possible. And rolling up, let's come to our wide-legged forward fold. Both legs are extended to opposite sides of the mat. And let's sit straight before we begin to bend from the hips, falling forward, reaching behind the knees, reaching toward the shins, or maybe the ankles or the toes. Just going wherever your body needs to in this moment. Remembering to breathe, to stay connected, and releasing anything that is ready to move on. Let's swing the legs back to one side, maybe shake them out a little bit. And coming back to our hands and knees and sitting back to child's pose. And bringing the hips forward to upward facing dog. And back to child's pose. Breathing into the lower back. And tucking the toes, lifting up to a plank. Before we lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Let's lift the right leg, step it between the hands, lowering the left knee to the mat. Reach the hands up and bring them to the mat as you fold over the right leg. Lifting up again to low lunge and folding forward to half splits. And once again, low lunge. And either coming back to half splits or full splits. Just do whatever you would like to do in this moment. This pose can be quite challenging, especially for those of us that have tight hips. But that's why we're here. We're here to release any tension. And oftentimes we store a lot of emotional energy in our hips. So when we hold these hip opening postures, you can often feel some emotions arising. Just know that that's perfectly normal. Breathe. And let's come back to half splits, low lunge. Hands come down to the mat. Step back to three-legged dog and downward facing dog, maybe pedaling out the feet if you like. And lifting the left leg up, step between the hands, lift to low lunge. And releasing forward, extending the left leg to half splits. Lifting up to low lunge. And finding half splits. Once more to low lunge. And release down to half splits. Or you can walk your feet farther apart, finding our full splits, Hanumanasana. Breathing here. You'll find that one side is often a bit more tight than the other. So again, just breathing into that tension, breathing into the stiffness. This is our time to work on our flexibility, and not only that, to also work on our hearts, asking ourselves, is there anything that I need to let go of? And let's come back to half splits. low lunge, and hands come back to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet or just hold. And let's sit back to child's pose. And lifting back to down dog. Roll forward to plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the mat once again, and then let's sit, bringing the back to the mat and the right knee to the chest once again. Let's find our supine spinal twist. So allowing the right knee to cross over the left side. The right arm can be extended, or you can bring the hand behind your head. Just try to keep that right shoulder connected to the mat. If your right knee is not touching the left side of the mat, that's perfectly fine. You can place a block underneath the knee if it's too uncomfortable to leave it hovering. I like to do that sometimes. Just feeling a nice spinal twist, encouraging spinal health, keeping the left leg extended. Breathe and release. Coming back to center, right knee to the chest, and switching left knee to the chest, allowing the left knee to release over to the right side of the mat. Left arm is extended out, or you can bring the hand behind the head, trying to keep the left shoulder connected to the mat at all times. And coming back to center, both knees to the chest this time, rocking back and forth, massaging the lower back. Giving ourselves a hug and release into Shavasana. Breathing deeply, feeling the difference in your body between now and the beginning of our practice. Feel all of the space that you have created by releasing, by letting go. Just melt into the mat. Deep inhale. Fill your lungs. And exhale, releasing it all out. And it's time to come out. Bring your knees to the chest, rolling over to one side. Coming up to seated in the middle of your mat, hands reach up to the sky and down to heart. And once again, reaching up, stretching up, reach up, and release the hands to the heart. Thank you for practicing with me. Thank yourself for making time out of your busy day to do something wonderful for your body and for your mind. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.